Now I'm going to be tying Carrie Stevens' well-known fly called the Grey Ghost. Now the hook I'm tying on is this one here. This is a streamer hook that I bought these a long time ago, and size 2, so it's a 10XL, so it's a very long shank, and this is the style of this fly. Now these are mainly tied, I'm tying this basically, it's to be framed, so I'm doing a selection of different bodies, different patterns. I'll put a picture up of the actual flies that carry the grey ghost, but in the picture, if I'll put it up, you can see they've got a grey wing or a dun coloured wing, as well as a brown wing, so there's quite a mix. It's like maybe like a rusty dun would be a good in between. So, and they were tied in certain ways. Now obviously I'm going to tie this to suit myself, as well as when I'm going to be tying the wings I've got some natural done. These are saddle hackles actually for my saddle, and basically what I'm going to be doing is putting the wing together before I tie it on, and it does actually work out better doing it that way. So anyway, first thing I'm going to do is actually, and this is where I'm tying it to suit myself, I'm going to be forming the body, but I'm actually going to tie the body with the actual floss as well. So first thing I'm going to do is get some silver tinsel. This is proper silver tinsel. In this case, this is the Vineyard one. I'll show you the spool. This is the spool I bought. It's basically a French tinsel. Lager tinsel, and I reckon that would be, I'd have to say it really, but a medium to a large tinsel. Now, first thing I do with any sort of tinsel like this, I like to run the cloth through it. This is a microfiber cloth, just to shine it up. So it's nice and clean. And then what I'm going to do now, this is traditional silks. Now you don't have to use this. I want to use this because this is as close to the colour, and probably the same as what Carrie was looking for in colour. When you look at the flies, you'll see this colour. And as I say, I've put onto this is a TMCO, it's a heavy duty bobbin holder. Now originally I bought this, it was actually sold as a floss bobbin holder, and this is the reason why I like to use it. Now it's faster, it's as tight as using tying thread, as you'll probably see when I'm using it, and you can use most flosses like this. I'm quite happy to use any type of floss, but the main reason I like doing it like this is, and first, the length of this takes up a lot of floss, a lot of time, and if you're tying in a way and you're not reducing the quality, and I think actually improving it, because you get a better shape by tying floss straight on. So you'll see as it goes. Now the first thing I do is just, you don't want a long tail of waste, you don't want to waste your stuff. Now this hook, the style of this hook, you can see the eyes formed by bending, and it tapers out. Now I start just on that, just about there, about the head length away. So the same way I would wind on thread, I would catch this in. Now just a wee tad along there, so I'm going to measure my thread, so I want the body to stop there. So that's my guide. I've got my tinsel ready, so I'm going to tie this in the way down. This is going to form the tag, as well as it's going to form the rib of the fly. Now we just quickly run down like we would do with a thread, really tight, all the way. Now just before you come to the end of the body, I spin the bobbin anti-clockwise, which basically flattens the floss a bit, and it helps to taper it down to that point there. And then as I work back up, then I'm forming the body using the silk. Now you see how quick it is, and it's actually less waste, because what you're doing, instead of taking a length of floss off and guessing how much you need, this way you're using the exact amount. Now again, I just like to spin the bobbin, and then a whip finish, just as I would do a thread. 3 turns or so, pull it tight towards the back, then trim. And basically that's your floss body done. You see how neat it is. Now what I'm going to do here, so I can tie off my tinsel, wax my thread first. I'm just using a black uni thread. This is an 8/0. So I tie it on, come down, and I run it onto the floss. See where we are, take away the waste, and we're ready to catch our tinsel in, so make sure your thread's waxed. Now what I do here is I basically form the tag. That first bend, make sure it's flat, just use your nail. Now proper tinsel, what you're best to do is do one turn in front of the other, and especially doing it in this style. I do 5 turns down, and they're all in front of one another, not overlapping or anything. I do the same on the way back up. Just keep going. Come up onto the body, and then rib the fly really tight. Now that's as strong as any bodies you'll get. It'll hold really well, and it's sticking to what the fly looks like. Catch in your tinsel, make sure it's secure. And then what I like to do, save my scissors, is bend and break away the tinsel. And there we are. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to, basically this is as close to how Carrie would do the wing. She basically built the wing first and then added it on. Now if I look at the way she dressed her fly, the length of the wing came by about a good inch or so off the bend. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on, is that. So basically what I'll do, I've got 2 feathers, 2 grey feathers, line up. I want some of the fluff. The fluff adds a bit of, its head or body to the fly. So that's my length there, so where I'm going to tie it in. So I take that away, the fluff. Now I've got the silver pheasant. So I'm just going to lay that down first. Silver pheasant, now in the picture as well, it's basically runs into about 1/3 of the body. So if you look at the 1/3, or 1/3 of the hook, sorry, say about there. So I'm going to lay one on top of the other, so I've got 2, a right and a left side from a skin. So I'm just going to line up where I want that to be. So I'll show you where you can see. So I've lined them up, both feathers, so I can know where they are. So you're looking at round about 1/3 or so, and then I make a space. Just double check this is the right sort of length I'm looking for. It's fine. And again, I'm just going to take away fluff. Now when you take the one from my side, or from, sorry, your side, it should be slightly curving that way. And I'm going to, if you look at it, there's your style there. So that's your basically their length. Now I've got a jungle cock, and in the jungle cock you're looking on most of these, they're slightly different lengths. I'm looking at the length at least to sort of make it come together. I'm just going to show you. About there, I would think suits it fine. So once we've got that, again we take away the fluff. Now they're all lined up, ready. Now if I'm wrong, I apologise, but as far as I believe they used to stick these together, but the way I do it, the way I'm going to be doing it, is just basically putting thread on. I'm just using black thread, the same thread I'm going to be tying the fly with. So we're all lined up. Make sure the tips of the feathers are lined up, because they will move as you mess around. And you're happy with the position, and then all you have to do is, I usually come round 3 or 4 times or so. Just going to take away these excess fibres, the excess. and I just finish by hand. So I just 1, 2, 3, hold the knot, pull it into my finger. It's kind of fiddly, but you get used to it. And then trim away the waste a wee bit. So basically that's your ready made up to tie on whenever you want. So basically I do that twice, so I've obviously got the other side to do. Now I've got my first wing made up, there's there, and that's your side. So all I do is get another 2 feathers, make sure the tips have lined up, measure the length. Obviously you can see I've actually pulled the feather or fibres apart, pulled them away so I know exactly where it is. Holding that tight I can then take these away. And then I've got the silver pheasant again, just lay that on. Jungle cock. Just hold them together. Just check their length. Again, I'm just going to move away fluff. It ties in really well, this, it's easy enough to tie in. Just double check their length. Just check everything before you take it away. Or before you tie it on anyway. And then again, just going to take away the excess for stem. Just come in. And whip finish. Just keep it close to your fingers as you can. Just pinch the loop. Just nice and easy, pull in. And then there we are. So that's my side. This is everyone's ready to tie in. As you can see, looks fine. So we've got both wings ready. You could sit and tie a few of these, put them together and tie them on. So basically that's how I prepare the wing for the obviously the winging stage. Now the actual fly itself, the tying of it, it's basically just got Peacock Herl, white Bucktail, we've got a Crest throat, we've got a Crest underwing, then we've got the main wing and so on. So we'll get into tying that. Now the first thing we're going to do is put the thread back on. Nice and tight and square it up. Take away your waste. Smacks my thread. Now the underwing, oh sorry, the under, well, the throat really, the streamer is Peacock Herl. We've got 4 strands Peacock Herl. Now it says 46. Now the Peacock Herl is much the same length as the wing. So we're going to tie this on the underside. So I usually just bring it underneath, then pinch and loop 3 or 4 times, and then trim away. Again, make sure you wax your thread. Tidy this up. So just set it there. Now I've got white Bucktail. So not too much. Trim away. Now I'm just going to line up the ends by eye. You could stack it, it's up to yourself. Now just underneath, straight underneath, as I say, Carrie's flies, they're just slightly by the bend of the hook. Not as long as the Peacock Herl, but just slightly shorter. Just check the length before we tie it on. I would say about there's be fine. Again, just pinch and loop underneath, nice and tight. And then trim away. Try and get all the hair, all the waste ends at once. Or you spend a bit longer trying to chase a couple of fibres, like I'm doing at the moment. Chasing one just now, so there we are. Just make sure you tie these in nice and tight. Tidy this up. We tie in some a golden pheasant crest feather. Just need to tie that underneath. So see, I'm not being too fussy with it. I've got a crest feather here, a nice bright yellow one. You can turn this upside down. This is throat length, so it's actually quite a big feather. So I just simply pinch and whip it on, straight on, tight as I can. Make sure you get a bit of the feather to tie in, even if it's the full length of the head, because it's important that you tie that in. So nice and tight, run it up, tidy up. Just check that we're right underneath. That's fine. Just going to lift it out a wee bit, just so we can see it. The tying in the fibres just gives the feather a lot more strength. Now the underwing now is we've got, this is another crest feather. I want that just to lay towards the back. Now to get it to stretch out like that, I just run my nail lightly underneath and then tie it on. So just basically on the top, make sure you tie plenty of stem in. There's fluff. Yeah, make sure everything's tapered. You're always thinking of the head shape as well when you're doing this, not just tying in the material, just tapering it out. That looks fine. Get a nice shape. Now we're ready for our wing. So basically what I'm going to do is just tie them in together. So I'm just lining them up. Should be straightforward enough. Should just come together. Just checking the tips at the end. Jungle cock and the silver pheasant should be okay. Where we marked it or where we tied it in should be the same. But always check. Just double check. And what I like to do is get 2 or 3 turns onto it just to hold it. See where we are, check our length as I say. See they're sitting. Almost a wee bit high there. I'm going to bring it a wee bit forward. And tie it in with 2 or 3 loose turns again. That looks fine. Check my side. Just have to bring it down a wee bit. Looks okay. When you're happy, that's when you can now tighten up. Make sure you secure it down. It looks fine. There's always one side better than the other, I think. Your side's the best side. I'll do it. Trim away the waist. Always like to, when you've got a lot of things tied in, there's a wee touch of varnish or super glue just at the ends of the cut ends, and you can tie them down. What I'm going to do is just tidy the head area up with some thread turns, just a nice shape. And when you're happy with the shape, then we can put there's a red band in the centre of the head. just going to whip finish. I'm just going to use a red floss just to get the red band. Use red thread. I'm just using this as the Glow Bright Floss number 3, which is a bright red. So I'm just going to tie it in the centre. Nice and tight. I'll trim away the waste. I want a decent white red band, so it's looking like it's okay. Sit back and look at it. It's fine. Whip finish. Nice and tight. And there we are. Bring the throat down a wee bit. Bring the bucktail out the way. So you can see what it's looking like. Seem to go together quite well. As I say, it is easier to actually form the wing first. I would agree with that. And then you just build up a nice shiny head. So just a clear varnish. Take your time. I'm just rotating the vise, obviously. I'll probably put a good 3 coats of varnish on it at least, to get a nice shiny head. So anyway, there we are. That's the grey ghost. I mean, obviously there's ways I've tied it to suit myself, especially with the body. The wing construction, it's just the same, as probably as close to what Carrie would have done. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.